Hi, I'm Colin, and today we're going to show you how to replace a standard 10 by 10 concrete patio with paving stones. So the first step for this project, like any other, is to mark out for our excavated area. The homeowner gave us a rough drawing of what he wanted, but we're going to go back and remark all the lines using the foundation as a straight reference and the existing concrete patio that he wants to utilize as a reference as well to make sure we have nice and straight and square marking lines. We always recommend white marking paint. It is a marking paint specifically designed for excavation areas. Any other color is a utility, and you'll probably have a utility locate, so make sure you use white marking paint to mark out an excavation area. We're done marking out our area for excavation, and we made sure we had a utility locate done prior to this project to make sure there was nothing going on utility-wise in the back of this project. We can go ahead and start excavating. You have two different options here. The traditional method is to use string lines and some shovels and pickaxes. We wanted to utilize an excavator. Whenever you pair string lines with equipment, it doesn't usually work out well because they kind of get in the way. So we're using an excavator and a laser transit to maintain our grade. Either way, the main goal is to get 7 inches below the surface of where you want your paving stones to be to accommodate our gravel base, our bedding material, and our paving stone. Let's go ahead and get started. We've done most of the excavation for our project, and we left our concrete patio for last. Whenever you're tearing up concrete or demoing concrete, it's always good practice to cover up glass like we are with a piece of plywood here. It's what we always do. You should probably try and do it too. So we've taken up our concrete patio. Now all of our excavation process is complete, and we can start bringing in our gravel base. We compacted our subgrade. It might be a good preventative measure to promote longevity in your project. When you bring in a gravel base, you want to make sure you lay down geotextile first, because it's a good preventative measure. And also check the ratings for your plate compactor. Most smaller plate compactors that people can rent are only rated for 2-inch lifts. We have a larger plate compactor that can do a little bit more, but you always want to make sure you have good compaction for your gravel base. So occasionally when you're doing any type of project in your backyard or near your house, you have some vents, okay? Foundation vents are very common, and if you want to build up around them, you have to have some sort of retaining barrier. So the easiest way to do that is typically a one-piece vent well system. Some people can use wall block that they glue together. This is nice because it's easy, it's one piece. All you got to do is build up a little bit of gravel underneath it and then set it level just like a wall block, or with grade if your project has hardscaping that has a grade on it so it kind of matches and looks flush. We set these about a 1/4 inch below our foundation or our siding here, just to kind of look neat and tidy. We've finished the gravel base for our project, so now we can move on to the next step, which is our bedding layer. We use something in 1-inch uniform. That way we have 1 inches of the bedding material across our entire project. The easiest way to do that is something like a metal rail like we're using that's square, or maybe some 5/8 inch conduit that has a 1-inch outside diameter. Regardless, that's just the rule of thumb, 1 inch of bedding. The type of bedding material we're using today is called washed quarter tan. Traditionally used washed concrete sand, which is the spec, but we've noticed that using this material as our bedding layer has made our product perform better in its current climate, and also makes installation a little bit easier. As long as you use a uniform 1 inch of that material, you'll be just fine. We've screeded out all of our bedding materials, so now we can start laying our stones. Before we get started, we're going to set up some stakes and string lines for straight and square reference lines to lay from. Most patterns you want to look nice and neat. They have to be straight and square to do that. Once you have your string lines in place, you can go ahead and start laying your stones. For this specific project, they had an existing concrete patio that was a step down from their current threshold, okay? So since we made the paving stones at the exact same elevation, we're gonna help them out by creating a step here to help transition between their patio to the inside of their house. All we're gonna do is lay some chateau block on end, glue them to the paving stone patio, and then glue some capstones on top of that for a nice ease of access into their house. We've laid our field and cut all the stones that we've needed to, so now it's time for the next step, which is edge restraint. No matter what type of edge restraint you use, you have to pull away whatever bedding material is beyond the edge of your paving stones. This is much easier to do when you're using quarter tan or chip rock as your bedding material. The type of edge restraint we're using today is called paver edging, which is a flexible concrete that has bonded together with fibers. It is also lower profile compared to other edge restraint systems and performs exceptionally well. We're almost done laying down our permit edge. They're finishing back behind me here. And the last step to our process is our joint sand and compaction. We're gonna bring in regular dry joint sand to this project just because that's what the homeowner wanted. Then we're gonna compact our stones to help wiggle that sand into place. After that, you have a completed project and you can finish the edges that aren't covered however you'd like.